Welcome back to DreamLeague Season 5. We're live from the DreamHack Monster Studios, and we just witnessed the first game of Empire taking on Virtus.pro, and everybody on the studio thought, or apart from one, thought that Virtus.pro was going to take this one easy. But there was one true analyst amongst us all.
As a pro player, of course they were going to take it. Stuns. No, but it was an amazing domination. And I'm really interested to see what you thought about that game, buddy. I mean, it was... I thought they were going to win, but I didn't know they'd win that much. I mean, what happened on the side of VP?
I think that VP kind of just misplayed their lanes. They had a Wisp and a Lion who tried to rotate in and kill the Invoker mid.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, the Void, he just had a free lane on top. He was just basically laning against a Sven. And the Wisp and Lion actually didn't kill the Invoker. So even though the Invoker... he gets slightly behind the DP, it doesn't really matter because they have an Enigma free farming in the jungle and the Void has a free lane. So what they probably should have done is just have the Lion sit top with the Sven, and then they can do some sort of dual lane mid with Wisp and DP, and DP will just slowly edge out the Invoker together with the Wisp, and then they can stack jungle with the Wisp.
Yeah.
But so they kind of tried to force it, and then what ended up happening, we saw they got a kill, but then, I mean, they got the first blood, but then they traded it for 2 heroes. The Enigma got a double kill, and he just became really big. And FNG didn't really get anything out of his offlane. He also didn't, I don't know if that's a thing people do now. He didn't skill access at all until maybe level 9 or 10.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing people do these days.
I am not a Beastmaster expert, and I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah.
So I do not know.
I think Q is pretty good on Beastmaster.
I mean, at least 1 point usually,
right,
because you can
point.
cut down trees and you can farm a bit with, I don't know.
Right.
But anyways, they didn't really get anything out of the lanes that the way they wanted to do. So they kind of just fell flat because Empire's lineup was much better if the lanes just go even, Empire winning. So VP kind of wanted to win the lanes. But yeah,
they kind of lost all the lanes.
Yeah, they lost all the lanes.
And maybe top lane was even, but that in theory was a win for Empire.
If the Void gets something, it's a loss
it's a win.
for VP.
Yes, it's a loss for VP, win for Empire, you're right. So this is actually a very interesting series, and we didn't talk about this before the series just yet, but with the CIS shuffle, basically what is rumored to have happened is Virtus.pro is like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna switch some things up, and actually FNG said in the vlog that it was already not going too well since the Frankfurt major, and him and G, discussed what they should do, and they decided, well, we gotta make a new team, and we're gonna try to do something different. So they poached 3 players from Team Empire.
What we're trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen, is that these guys have got, in the words of the lyrical Smith, whatever her name is, the girl, the hot chick, the blondie, we got some bad blood in here, all right? This is a grudge match. This is
Who's he talking about?
Taylor Swift. In the words of Taylor Swift, we got bad blood. These guys are rivals. They
do.
Poaching players.
Somehow rivals. It's rivals between the organization, because these players on Team Empire weren't, any of them was not, nobody was on Team Empire before Friday.
These people are right. They got bloodlust, Sheaver. This is hype stuff. This is like a boxing match,
Would you say
all right?
Team Empire strikes back?
They hate each other, all right? I'm going to just say it out there. The
He
Empire
missed it.
has struck back. I gotcha. And this is a grudge match. This is a very hype thing. This is going to decide the fate of the CIS region, potentially, by who's the better team.
Actually, that's very much true. We have a lot of CIS matches this week, and it kind of will help the team shape and, progress. As we talked to Scandal yesterday, they're still finding their way in terms of in-game communication, in terms of draft, as well as Afterlife has taken over the drafting wheel, but they're having a few other players also chip in. They're finding their style, they're finding their groove, and that's basically the case of all CIS teams right now. And this is the week to do it in, this is the week to show, how they're going to shape up. So far, Empire looking pretty good.
It's looking good. The Empire is strong, although you do have the rogue squadron of VP who's coming out of the nowhere. And then these rebels over there on Team Vega, who knows? You got, who's the last guys? I don't know.
Star Wars.
Navi, they're like the end.
But they haven't played a single game yet. So
yeah, they're the dudes on Endor. They're on the moon.
Who are Navi then?
Navi are, they're the those little guys on Endor. Little bears.
All right, yeah. Okay, yeah, the Wookiees?
No, not Wookiees.
No?
That would be, I forget what they're called.
I do not know this.
You know, the little bear. Ewoks.
Ewoks.
No,
Ewoks.
Navi are the Ewoks. They're running
Right.
around. They're having a good time. They're not there yet.
Okay.
All right? Empire's strong. Rebels are coming. But Rogue Squadron not doing so good these
Okay.
days.
I'm rooting for the Ewoks then.
The Ewoks!
Damn.
Who do you like? You like the Empire? You like the Ewoks?
I like the Ewoks mostly because of the name.
Ewok? We'll see how Navi does.
But Navi is like playing in the last 2 weeks here of DreamLeague, so they have like we have to wait 1.5 weeks before we can see them play, something like that.
Okay, well, let's talk about the next game coming up here.
No,
No?
let's talk about the previous game because we have a highlight.
Highlights, that's
Of
right.
previous
Highlights.
game. Let's take a look at what we
Woo!
got
Yes.
and what happened this game. I mean, it was a very active
No.
game. So we are going to start off with a fight around the Roche pit at 16.5 minutes in. That is
That is
indeed,
indeed the roast pit.
Thank you.
You did it, Slacks.
Some people don't know.
Pause, please, Maestro.
Okay.
Okay, positioning. I want your opinion on this, Pycat, because obviously we have people from Team Empire. I mean, they're standing pretty decently. We have Witch Doctor. I really like this positioning of the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, no,
He's
it's
just
really
sitting in the
good.
back.
It's good. He can put the Death Ward up here, and if they have vision, he will, attack all these heroes in here. And
Yeah, is this like the range of the Death Ward?
yeah,
sort of?
something like this. Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
And then so what happens is that this was actually really good for VP because G here, he uses his silence onto this guy, the Faceless
Yeah,
Void.
it was
who,
a good
if he jumps and he gets a chrono there, then the fight is just, it's just
Done for
one
Empire. Yeah.
for VP.
But yeah.
Yeah, but so he actually gets the silence off, and the Void doesn't actually manage to chrono the pit. So it actually does look a bit quite good for VP. Can we play this?
Yeah,
Yep,
go ahead.
yeah.
So yeah, as you can see, the silence coming out right here is going to be huge on the Void.
But here is
Nice
the issue.
stun.
Like, you
Pause.
see the Sven. Look
Pause.
at the Sven. He's
Yep.
getting blocked up by
Pause.
these units.
Pause.
And FNG, he has already used his roar. So FNG,
Yeah.
he uses his roar on the Enigma, who is standing over there. His team, they're still in the Roche pit. So they can't actually get out of there. And then the Void jumps in. He gets 3 heroes in the chrono. And I think at this point, what the Wisp should do is probably he needs to relocate this Sven to either over here, it should be over here, or up here. So that the Sven can actually start attacking someone.
Yeah.
Right.
But
But he don't know what's going on. He's stuck in the pit like, how do I get out of here?
he be chilling.
He'd be chilling. Now, this 3 people chrono is just really doing work.
And
He's
Lion
going to
can't get a range to
relocate
do
right here,
anything.
too.
So yeah, he actually relocates to over here.
He's trying to get out Mr. Sven, but
But
not
and
gonna
then
work.
he actually what happened is he actually positions himself too far down, I think. So does he get interrupted? He walks into the chrono because he actually doesn't relocate the
He walks into the
Sven
chrono.
out,
I think
right?
yeah,
there
he
was a
is.
Relo
split
is-
second, and the chrono disappears
Yeah.
right at that time as
Yeah.
well. But he did get hit by
so
it,
he
and
got
therefore
hit by the
interrupting
chrono,
it.
and yeah, it got interrupted. So he had to position himself a bit further up here so that he won't get hit by the chrono, and then relocate them. I would say to the other side, but I think this is a bit on FNG roaring the Enigma so early on in the fight when it actually didn't achieve much, and then on the Wisp not relocating properly.
Yeah, what I find really interesting about this team fight is the separation here. Look what a good job they have is corralling these guys, like sheepdogs. They get all the rest of the team out of there. You got a solo Sven now. The entire team can focus on that. Down here, we got Faces Void chasing Lion and the rest of the crew. And it's just a really nice way.
and
The positioning is great.
Tether and Relocator are all used,
Right.
so the Sven has no way of escaping. And I mean, at this point, I think the game is already really tough for VP.
Here
They
comes a good
actually have
fairy
the
fly.
Sven.
Oh! But
That could
yeah.
come back into the game, but it's just too little, too late.
Yeah, I think. I mean, they Virtus Pro got the Aegis, they got the Roshan, but it wasn't enough. So next game, we thought I didn't say it, but I mean, I thought Virtus Pro was gonna do very well as well. So what do you feel like they can improve on most? Was this because this was not an out draft? We talked about it before. Even if you did not know the teams, you felt like Virtus Pro's draft was slightly in favor. So it was execution, mostly.
Yeah, I would say, I was surprised by how well Empire actually played, but I also think it was a lot on... They didn't get anything out of their supports, whereas Enigma just free farm jungle, and the Witch Doctor, he was just standing bottom, getting levels and zoning the Beastmaster. So for Empire, it was kind of simple what they had to do. They just needed to, just sit in their lane with the Witch Doctor, Enigma just farms jungle. It's kind of straight up. But
Easier
I
to
think
execute.
what VP needed to do is have their supports on 2 different lanes. Like I mentioned earlier, I would have liked to see the Wisp go to the mid lane and stack for either the Sven or the DP, either one of them, and then the Lion just sit top and also just zone the Void and get levels, because then they would have a stronger Lion much earlier, Void would have less, and the mid hero or Sven would get even more farm, and the Wisp would get levels from that.
So they seemed a little bit stressed in this game. That's
I
like
think
something
so, yeah.
that they need
I
to be
think
changing.
They felt like they needed to do more than they actually had to do because of the Enigma factor.
Yeah.
Which usually it is a threat, but when you overreact to it, you put yourself in an even worse position.
Well, we already have got a very different start to the game as we had previous games. We are in the draft, but a hero made it through that we